natural.
It was.
They love you.
It feels so sincere when you hold up a sign that says clap and people do.
It doesn't say clap.
Well,
It says applause.
I'm translating.
Clap, that's a whole different message.
It is.
Clap
We're
would
in
be easier to
Spinard.
spell.
Okay, we're doing a television show, which is the part where I have to introduce my panel before they start talking. I know. I've got that taser, remember? It's here somewhere. I'm really happy that the former editor of the Anchorage Times, I don't know if I'm happy that it's the former Anchorage Times or that you're the former editor, but regardless, a regular columnist for the Anchorage Daily Planet, the author of a new satirical thriller called The Snowflake Rebellion. Ooh. I know, I'm so Price is Right. Please welcome Tom Brennan to the show. And he's a writer for the Alaska Dispatch now, a 30-year veteran reporter in Alaska. And
Forgot to bring his book.
and all-around curmudgeon on occasion. And I hardly recognize you out of a running suit, Craig Medred. And the man that should have been the mayor if you'd got off your asses and voted, Anchorage. And a couple of you stayed home. He's an Anchorage attorney, a former mayoral and gubernatorial candidate, and served 10 years in the Alaska legislature. Say hello to my good friend Eric Croft.
It's Spinard. They'll cheer for anything.
It
Enough
is.
beers. Yeah.
Enough beers, and I do mean that as my good friend, and I don't think that being my good friend had anything to do with you
With the
losing.
applause? Oh,
with you losing the mayoral race, although there's a lot of people with buyer's remorse these days. So we just had Tony Hotfinger on. It's been a hot week here in Anchorage Town.
Oh, yeah.
Anchorage down in Anchorage. Craig Medred, I've been hearing you out there and about sort of defending your editor at this point, but it's a way bigger issue, isn't it?
Well, there are no left questions, there are no right questions, there are only questions that don't have answers. And when it comes to Joe Miller, there seem to be more than usual of those.
Right, this isn't partisan one side or the other.
This is about answer the questions. I mean, this is like Sarah Palin. You can make it go away in a minute. Just stand up and tell the truth. I mean, I find it kind of hilarious because I've been a reporter here for 30 years. Imagine if Tony had done that to Don Young.
Well, right. I didn't know this was an option. I did the whole time. I kind of thought the spectrum was trying to avoid the question, answer the question, which I tried to do a lot. That was where we're confined. He's opened up a whole new area of responding to questions. Arrest them, shoot them. I don't know. Just stuff that I didn't think was on the table.
Don't suggest that.
Oh, yeah.
We on this side are nervous enough already.
You can't do that, really.
No, and doesn't the drop zone sound like the name of an outhouse company?
It does.
Really, drop your pants zone?
Well,
I don't know what their deal is there, but those guys are serious. There's either a Viagra shortage on one end or too much on another. I don't know what it is, but that sort of behavior to a journalist, to anybody, is completely. I mean, you've written for years as well. Can you imagine if a reporter you sent out on a job came back and
Or didn't come back.
or didn't?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, where is he?
There've been
Turp and
times I-
shovel at your service.
There have been times I've had to go over to the local jail to retrieve one of my reporters, but never under circumstances like that.
Right.
Back in the good old days when they just got
Usually
drunk
when
and
they're
in
not
trouble.
working.
Right. That was just so strange to me.
Well, this would be funny if it was just the drop zone guys, but to have a guy who likely to be our next senator endorse this kind of behavior is chilling as a reporter, because I don't know what the next crazy Joe Miller supporter might do. It's like, his goons jumped Tony Hotfinger, slammed him off some lockers, and threw him in handcuffs, and that's cool. Okay, what is somebody going to do to trump that, to show how they're an even better Joe Miller guy? And that's the bothersome part. He needs to come out here and say, this is wrong, I apologize for it, shouldn't be happening.
But he's defended it.
Oh, he's defended it. He made a big deal of it. He thought it was good. I mean, he thinks it's all right and just that, this kind of thing happens. And it doesn't happen in America. It happened in Germany in the 1930s. We don't go there.
That's a shameless plug for your book. What's the title of your book again?
Snowflake Rebellion.
And I haven't read it. I'd like to now, but it seems like it's about sort of us going crazy and rebelling and doing nutty stuff.
Alaska is seceding from the Union.
Yeah, see, I think this is
Or as Todd Palin calls it, just a dream.
where our fact gets ahead of fiction, right? You're writing a very nice fictional thing, and we're doing weirder stuff.
It's very hard to write fiction because the audience gets ahead of you.
That's right.
They do it.
When we start doing stupider things faster than you can make them up, is what you're saying. Yeah, it's a challenge up here.
So what do you, I asked Tony Hoffinger this, and you, of course, were at the ADN for years, you at the Anchorage Times. You know, Sarah Palin wasn't vetted. I wonder if we went back and actually vetted other people that were never vetted because they didn't go to a national stage, what we would have found out. I mean, I'd love to see Jerry Ward vetted now.
Well,
Or some other people. I mean, there's a whole list. But
unless you're going into the House of the legislature, you were vetted pretty good. I mean, I don't even remember that a person could get into the Senate without, the state Senate without significant vetting, and that's what was wrong with. And that was Joe Miller's problem from the first. You know, he wanted to start at the top, but he never even ran for, membership on the local school board.
Right, but he did run for state house and lost to a Democrat in Fairbanks.
Yes, but there wasn't much came out there because he was pegged as such a loser. I mean, I don't know. Do you remember anybody who's gotten to this point with less known about them in the last
We've made Lindauer. We've made Teresa Obermeyer was the Democratic nominee. No, I think this is a long tradition we've had. I don't think this is an anomaly. I think this is us, baby.
I think
We know who they were.
You knew who Teresa was. We don't know who this guy was.
Who ever heard of him?
Right, it's not
Fairbanks?
that you can't be completely crazy and run. It's that we need to know how crazy you are first.
So it's
and then you can be on our ticket.
It's gradations of crazy. We thought you were different crazy.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that helps.
Get
but
out the chains and okay, that's safe.
How much like Lindauer is this race?
It seems to me it's quite a bit different. I mean, Lindauer was a little bit loony.
That would be totally different than this race.
This is much different. No, this is a guy who's just totally over his head. You know, he wants to start at the top. Nobody has ever heard of him. This thing that happened with Tony Hoffinger, you don't use muscle for your security. You know, you get a large lady who's got a voice like your mother on steroids.
Well,
It's the angry mom security. I like that.
there's no two-way mirrors, so we haven't had the two-way mirrors of Lindauer.
Radio station,
Two-way radio station
Yeah,
mirror. And his wife is not rich. And other than that, I don't know that we're not kind of in the same Never Land of John Lindauer. I mean, John Lindauer was a smart guy. I liked him.
One of the differences is when John Lindauer imploded, the Republicans left him. And that's part of the problem this time. He got 15%, I think, by the end.
20.
And Lindauer did. Well, and now if the polls are right, and who knows if you can poll Alaska or anywhere anymore. I don't know whether they're
I don't think you can poll Alaska right now.
But if it's at 35, then they're not leaving. So the threshold of crazy has gotten harder to meet or something.
Well, that's progress.
That's progress, okay. We want to get to 51% crazy.
No, if this was a two-way race right now, I think Scott McAdams would be far ahead and be next. But there was a spoiler, and or a person that's a little bit spoiled, maybe. I don't know, but I know. But you look at Robin Taylor came in. But that was really, the party had left Lindauer, and that isn't. Randy Rudrick, I feel bad for Randy Rudrick. I never thought I'd say that.
Oh, my God.
Do not.
No, I swear to God.
Is that on tape?
You're not serious about that.
I actually do, because, and
You're
Randy.
going to send him a Hallmark card.
Randy, let me just tell. Let me
When
have
the
a
going
moment.
gets weird, the weird go professional, that's for sure.
I am going to have a moment with Randy because I understand Randy has two ulcers. One named Sarah Palin that he got when he had to go to the Republican National Convention and be like,
I love you.
Golf clap. And then now with the guy that tried to oust him in the Eric Estrada glasses at the conference. Now he's got to deal with like, Joe Miller's our guy. I mean,
He practices in front of the
he
mirror until he
has
gets
to
it
like
right. Yeah.
eat bowls of glass with milk on him for breakfast just to wake up and like take it on. I can't imagine.
Randy should get a medal for it. I mean, that's above and beyond service.
Yeah, either that or committed, because that's just, I can't imagine how you live with that. And the representation, Alaska is splitting, and I don't know if you guys remember this. Lyda Green sang when Sarah was nominated. Lyda Green, who was president of the Senate, Republican from Wasilla, says, Sarah Palin destroyed the party in my town, she's destroying it in my state, and she will destroy it for the country. You're a Republican, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, Lyda was not one of her big fans.
Understatement, people.
Well, I'm not a big fan of Sarah Palin, but you don't think she could possibly do it, do you?
Well, I think she did it in Wasilla, and I think she's done it in the state.
Oh, I'll tell you.
And now we're
I
looking
think
at
it's
the country.
undeniable the Republican Party's coming apart in the state of Alaska. I mean, I used to think nothing could get more messed up, no offense, than the Democratic Party in the state of Alaska.
know, thank
but
you
now the
for that.
Republicans have shown they can get even more messed up.
I'm very glad that she is no longer governor of Alaska. And I figure, she's their problem now. Of course, if she should manage to become president of the United States, then she would be our problem too. But
Yeah,
I
you
just
know what?
can't
I'm
see
going to be
that
looking
happening.
for like political asylum in Canada.
I think-
Canada, if you're watching,
I've given some thought to that too.
I don't want to get waterboarded with red Kool-Aid or anything else. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more from our panel and more up north.